The Polish Post Office is preparing large-scale layoffs, reports Rzeczpospolita, which warns it will be shock therapy. In addition to the downsizing of up to 10,000 employees within a year already announced, there are to be group layoffs, the scale of which is not yet known. Subsequent days bring more news of downsizing or the winding up of Polish or foreign companies. Even global giants are laying off employees. For example, 800 people at Nokia.
Za każdą z tych firm.
Behind each of these companies, behind each of these locations that we can see on the map, behind each of these situations, after all, there are concrete dramas of Polish families. The situation of families that may be left without a livelihood, without a source of income, without the prospect of a stable life for some time. Reductions in employment are, in fact, all over the country, as these maps show. Data from Labour offices show that the scope of layoffs is twice as large this year as it was a year ago. We have a very sensitive few weeks ahead of us. If the government does not prepare, and consequently the parliamentary base does not adopt individual shields for Polish industry, for the Polish economy, but most importantly for Polish citizens, what we remember from the past will return. Company bankruptcies will return. Much higher unemployment will return, unfortunately. During the previous governments of Donald Tusk, unemployment reached more than 14%. In order for these times not to return, you also need a climate of great investment. And with this, there is a problem. An example is the Central Transportation Port. I know that if there is a living real economy developed and there are investments in the real economy, among other things in infrastructure implemented, this is the strongest and healthiest for the development of a country's economy. And this climate is lacking. What is missing above all is the willingness of the new government to make investments. We bring this project a bit from the clouds to the ground. We are standing firmly on the ground. Such words are not surprising since they are uttered by a person who is a staunch opponent of the mega airport. Now the same person is the government's plenipotentiary for the Central Transportation Port and hides behind audits. It is worth noting that external entities, no audits of the Central Communication Port Company, have been conducted. What has happened so far, and what information Mr. Lasik's attorney has received, is a check of documentation and invoices, contracts entered into and commitments made by the company employees. These materials he actually received. The public, on the other hand, obviously does not know these findings. The Central Transportation Port is not only a high-speed railroad and an airport from which we will reach every corner of the world, it is also a transportation hub. The most expensive goods are transported by air, among others pharmaceuticals, electronics, cosmetics, mail, etc. Only 17% of these goods are delivered directly to Poland and cloned in Poland. Even a pensioner in Ustryki Dolne will benefit from the fact that this port will be built. There will be air connectivity, better. There will be more trade, more investment. An obstacle to investment, however, is the Polish government's approach. The current passive approach of the government demonstrates a lack of desire for Poland's economic development. I can't imagine a situation in which we'll be subserviently implementing recommendations to delay or extinguish this project. These advantages are plentiful, experts say. You just have to be willing to listen to them and stop hiding behind this kind of non-Dashism. It is a Polish raison d'etre to see this project through. Any delay, or worse, extinguishing of the Central Transport project could further affect mass layoffs in our country and slow down the entire economy. Adrian Borecki, TV Republika.